You ready?
Yeah.
All right. Hey guys, today we're going to be doing some golf cart shenanigans. We've got this, this is Forrest and I'm Wes. And we're going to be doing some golf cart.
The name of our YouTube channel is, we're going to splice that in later right here while I'm talking.
Yeah, we're going to figure it out today. But it's a brisk 41 degrees here on a Monday morning. And we're going to play with golf carts. Forrest, what do we got here?
It's a 2011 E-Z-Go TXT 48 volts. Right now it's got an axle in it from another golf cart because the one that was in this one chewed itself up. And so I rebuilt it. And when I rebuilt it, I put some speed gears in it. I believe they're 8-to-1. And they're in that rebuilt axle over there in the mess.
Okay.
We're gonna swap the rebuilt axle into this, and take this axle, put it back on the 36-volt golf cart, and hopefully end up with 2 working golf carts.
All right. So the first things we're gonna do is we're gonna jump in this thing and we're going to do a speed test to see how fast we can get this stock golf cart going. Correct?
Sounds good. We're recording?
We are.
We're headed down to Mexico right now to the private test track,
which happens to be at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Hola, amigos.
Not at the end of the cul-de-sac, but
we're gonna do this test not very scientifically. Hang on, that's gonna sound terrible in the video.
Yeah, we got it.
All right, we're gonna back up all the way to this curb, and we're gonna follow the line in the street so we have a consistent track to measure later. We got 2 guys on it, Forrest and Wes. I'm gonna follow the crack in the street. Here we go. Here we go. All right, we are at steady at
16 miles per hour. That looks like that's what it is.
Not getting any more. Okay.
Yeah. All right. We got up to 16 miles per hour.
Yep. 16.
We're turning around inside the driveway of this.
This is 1308 Lake Trail.
This beautiful house for sale.
If you're interested, contact Wes Dorsey at wesdorsey.com.
Yep. Be sure to sell your house. All right.
All right, so now we're headed back to the garage and we're gonna do the swap. We're gonna switch the axles around, put the high-speed gears in, and clean up the other golf cart, and turn one into 2.
What we're gonna do, we're gonna get this one up, see how fast we can go, and then we're gonna end up with another roller. They probably need some new batteries.
You want a sneak peek at the next project?
Here it is.
There we go. Missing a bunch of parts.
All right.
You got to like clap the little thing and say action or something. So I'm going to jack the golf cart up. Because we're going to be replacing the rear axle, you can't jack it off of the rear differential, which is usually pretty convenient. So I'm going to jack it up on each side and then put jack stands under it, since we're going to be under there moving it around so much. Go just a little bit inboard of the outside edge, there's a frame rail there. On the driver's side, be careful because that's where your brake connections are, so don't crush those.
All right, so we can't seem to find the impact socket for the impact gun, so we're gonna make do if Forrest can. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and just color code this, make it look like an impact. So we're
no, this is a conversion.
Oh, this is conversion. This is conversion to make sure we use the proper tool for the job.
Impact rated.
Impact rated.
Somebody's been here before us. Apparently 3 is good enough.
Hey, didn't fall off. We were going 16 miles an hour, and there's a paper plate.
Where? Oh, we got paper. Oh, bonus.
Nice find.
I'm just looking at what we've got to take off. We've got to disconnect the brake from the hub because these brake cables stay with this golf cart. We've got to disconnect the shocks from the axle. These shocks stay with this golf cart. Then we've got to disconnect the axle hangers on both sides. One of them's already loose, which is bad. They should all be tight. And then drop the spring hanger at the back to give us a way to slide the axle down. And then once we have it down, take the bolts out that connect the electric motor, and then we'll hang that from the top with a ratchet strap or something just to keep it out of the way. It's pretty heavy. So first step is going to be to release the brakes and then start taking nuts off of the shocks and axle hangers. And just like that, brakes disconnected.
Just like that.
Man, that spring has seen a rough life.
It looks a little torqued.
It sure does.
Or maybe the U-bolts are just tighter on one side.
Well, look at this.
Oh, yeah.
Well, here's what we took out. This E-clip holds the brake cable in position on the axle, and then this pin and cotter key hold the clevis to the actual caliper that causes the brake shoes to rotate out and push on the pad. So once you take those off, you've got everything removed that's keeping the brake cables connected to the axle.
And now you know.
Can you see the bend in that? And then also on this side, the bend in the spring pack. I probably need to call the golf cart shop and see if they've got some used springs that can be acquired cheaply.
Just around the motor?
Yep.
So we've got the strap wrapped around the electric motor right there. What we'll do is that's gonna get the weight up off of the springs for when we drop the springs.
If you take a careful look at my rigging,
Professional.
semi-pro. But actually I rigged it this way on purpose because instead of coming off of this cross member which would pull the axle up and forward, I went between these two uprights and then looped it back around so that really the lifting force is straight up. Now it's going to impart a little twisting motion to it because it's got the straps coming off of opposite sides, but that'll be easy enough to counteract. And then with the ratchet up here, we can easily lower it down.
Gotcha. All right.
Okay. So we disconnected the spring hangers, brake cables are loose, and drop the springs down. There's 3 bolts that hold the motor to the axle. The motor's suspended from the top, kind of jankily with a ratchet strap. And if we put a little bit of pressure on the bottom of the axle, it should free this up, and we should be able to pull this out and then drop the axle out of the bottom. So we'll do that now.
Let's do it. Bet.
And the motor. So that's not supposed to happen, but we'll save it.
You said we should probably get another strap.
We probably should have.
Rear axle removed. What do you think?
I don't think it looks good. It's actually made by Dana Spicer. American made, pretty easy to get parts. Except these little plugs right here. That plug and that plug are like 14 bucks each, which is bullshit. So,
that plug right there. All right, what do we have here? Forrest?
that's freshly rebuilt. Spicer rear end for the 2011 E-Z-Go. It's got 8-to-1 speed gears in it. Should let it get mid 20 mile an hour. I don't think it'll get to 30. We're gonna put that back on and tighten the axle nuts down, put some new cotter pins in, and we're good to go.
All right, you gonna put new cotter pins in?
I heard that you're only supposed to use them once, otherwise when you bend them they'll crack. So I've got a strategy on that. It's a 2-use cotter pin. Each time I put them in, I only bend one of the legs.
All right, what is this right here?
So those are some leaf springs that I bought from a local golf cart shop. They're used leaf springs. He says they're in good condition, and he sold them to me without the rubber bushings that go in them. So I don't know that we're going to use them. It's kind of a sketchy little shop that I went to.
All right. So this is the rear end we rebuilt the other night. We're gonna go ahead and work on getting that stuck in.
I just put 10 ounces of straight 30 weight motor oil in it. That's what E-Z-Go recommends.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. Let's do it. All right.
So the
motor bolts are tight.
Motor bolts are tight. Everything's in place there. What we need to do now is lift the springs up to the spring hangers so that it holds the axle up, and then we'll put the axle with its mounting plate onto the pin that's in the spring. That'll keep the axle located front to rear, side to side, and then we'll put the axle bolts, the U-bolts, back onto the axle and hold everything in place.
All right.
This side's in. That was the axle seating onto the pin. Shock goes back there. On this axle, the brake cable mounts are up high, so this will go in here. The E-clip will go back on there and hold it.
I think we've got mission accomplished. What do you think, Forrest?
Good to go. Cook the batteries back up, take it on a speed run, see what parts fall off that we forgot to tighten up.
Sounds like a plan. All right, wheels are tight, torque to spec. Going back down here to the test the speed.
It's not a good sound.
That's not a good sound.
I wonder what we've done wrong. I mean, particularly on the golf cart.
It's not a good sound.
Perhaps it's self-clearancing.
Maybe. We shall see. You ready?
Ready?
Yep. Well, did some tweaking around, tried to realign the motor, but we still